the Congress, where he said back 2 months ago, where he said, let's take a look at the president. Let's speak in his own words, and you respond, Congresswoman. Here he is speaking to Congress.
And one more misunderstanding I want to clear up. Under our plan, no federal dollars will be used to fund abortions, and federal conscience laws will remain in place.
And here he is yesterday on another matter, on this matter, but stating it somewhat differently.
This is a health care bill, not an abortion bill. And we're not looking to change what is a core principle that has been in place for a very long time, which is federal dollars are not used to subsidize abortions.
Congresswoman, federal dollars should not be used to fund abortion or even to subsidize abortion. Does that language bother you?
Actually, Chris, that language was language that we compromised on last summer in the bill as it came through my committee, the Energy and Commerce Committee. We believe, as the President does, that this bill is about health care for 36 million Americans, not about abortion. And so this summer, the pro-choice caucus members, the pro-choice members of Energy and Commerce, we compromised with some of the other members on our committee, and we passed language which said exactly that. In this bill, we will not have federal funding used for abortions. Unfortunately, this Stupak amendment that was passed as part of the bill on Saturday goes far, far beyond current law. And what it says is, in the public option and in the insurance exchange, people cannot even use their private dollars to buy insurance coverage that will pay for full reproductive services. That would be the biggest expansion of anti-choice laws in my entire career.
But the President said he's against any subsidization of abortion. Wouldn't subsidizing insurance plans which cover abortion be a subsidy? It's his word, subsidy, by the way, not mine.
No, actually, the President, I think, agrees with us, because under current law, we have several things. Some businesses get tax credits right now for offering insurance plans to their employees, and those plans cover abortions. Right now, under Medicaid, federal funding cannot be used to pay for abortions under the Hyde Amendment, but 17 states fund abortions with their state dollar, a federal program that the states are administering, and the federal money's not used. So, in fact, what we're saying is people who are in the exchange, if they get the premium support, let's say they pay $100 a month for their insurance and they get $10 of premium assistance, that $10 should not be able to be used for abortions, but why can't their private money be used to pay for full coverage? In the Capps amendment,
but aren't you quibbling? It seems to me, Congresswoman, if the federal government is subsidizing something by saying we'll pay 10% of it or 20% of it, like for ethanol or anything else they subsidize, they're subsidizing it. I'm giving you the view of those who are pro-life. They don't like the idea of the federal government subsidizing abortion like it would ethanol or anything else the government chooses to encourage. Isn't the government encouraging insurance companies to cover abortion if it subsidizes that coverage? I'm just asking you an analytical question.
Yeah, absolutely not. In fact, that's not what the Hyde Amendment says. What current law says is federal money shall not be used to pay for abortions except for with the life, rape, or incest. And we agree with that. But it doesn't. Current law doesn't talk about subsidizing. That's beyond current law.
Well, the President does. Last night on Nightline, the President said he's against subsidizing abortion. He said he's against. He used the word subsidize.
I think the President agrees with me, and I could be wrong, but I will tell you this, that we were willing to compromise, and we still are. We think that if people don't feel like the Hyde language is well enough defined in the bill, we can talk about ways that we can keep federal dollars from funding abortions. But why should we say to a middle-class businesswoman, a small businesswoman who can't get insurance right now because she can't buy into a big group, you can't buy insurance in the public option that has a full range of reproductive services with your own private dollars? Why do we say that? That's way beyond anything contemplated in current law.
Okay, let's see if I hope you can solve this problem in the interest of health care, Congresswoman. I hope we get a compromise.
Well,
because there wasn't one at hand last Saturday night. There wasn't a compromise that satisfied your concerns, and the Speaker, who's pro-choice, went along with the other side of this argument.
Actually, the Speaker voted against this amendment, too, and she very rarely ever votes on the floor, and she didn't support the amendment either. The reason she was forced to allow it to be put up on the floor is because Congressman Stupak and others said that they would vote against final passage of the bill, and she wanted to keep the bill moving along. I did, too. I'd like to work this out, and I think we will be able to work this out.
Well, good luck. Thank you very much, Congresswoman DeGette, for coming on the show tonight. Jonathan Allen is a reporter for Politico. Is there any way they can resolve this? Because it seems to me, I mean, she's telling the truth there. She's making the case. But it seems like there's a real values difference here. Some people don't like the idea of anything that looks like a subsidy by the federal government for abortion, even if it's subsidizing an insurance plan which covers abortion. They don't like it.
Well, let's look at this.
I mean, Stupak knows how to read the bill. He wrote it.
Exactly, and it is a huge restriction, one sort of all-encompassing in terms of, as you talk about subsidies. Two parts to this question. Can it be resolved? If these guys, if Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid and Bart Stupak and Diana DeGette can get together and resolve this issue, President Obama should hand over the Nobel Peace Prize that he got to them.
Because it's hard to do it.
It's impossible to resolve this issue, or at least it has been to this point. You know, you talk about subsidies. What's interesting, I haven't heard anybody bring this up, is we already subsidize insurance companies that have plans that cover abortion.
How do we do that?
We do it through the Medicare prescription drug law, through tax breaks. Insurance companies are subsidized by the American taxpayer in all forms of ways. And so it's a little intellectually dishonest for some of these Republicans and Democrats who are against abortion rights to say now,
well, why do you think
we don't want to subsidize
Why do you think they're doing it?
Because they want to get a restriction on abortion. And so
wait a minute, you're missing the point that there are a lot of people in this country that support a woman's right to make the ultimate decision, but don't think federal money, other taxpayers should be forced to do something under the penalty of law for not doing it, to do something they consider morally awful.
I think it's a perfectly legitimate argument, but what I'm saying is...
Well, thank you, but it's a real argument.
No, it's a completely real argument, and if you believe that abortion is murder, you should try to stop abortions from happening. I mean,
no, you shouldn't have to have your taxpayer money, many people argue, pay for it. That's all.
Fair enough. But what
By the way, the Vice President of the United States takes this position.
Right.
It's not some oddball position you seem to be
focusing
on.
And actually, no, to be honest, a lot of politicians on both sides, even pro-choice politicians, have taken this position for a long time. The taxpayers shouldn't be forced to subsidize
It's called the majority will of Congress.
Absolutely.
They voted on it every year since 1970-something. They've said no federal money should go to pay for abortion.
Well, what I'm saying is that you already have insurance companies that have plans that cover abortion that are subsidized by the American taxpayer in a lot of ways. And so what I'm saying isn't that the argument that taxpayers shouldn't subsidize.
Here's the problem. The president last night on Nightline said he doesn't want government money to subsidize abortion. What do you think he meant by that?
I think that
Did he misspeak it?
I think he is doing his best to not take a position that will block him in later on, because I think he wants to get a health care bill, and I think he prioritizes that above any of the above a lot of the issues.
Jonathan, you've been studying this. You're a great reporter. I've been watching this come like a snowball, like in Indiana Jones, that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The idea that this is going to be soft-soaped or somehow melt down to a smaller snowball in 2 months when this finally gets voted on, I think is crazy. We have watched these issues before. Same-sex marriage, abortion rights, they get hotter as you go on. They get hotter the closer you get to final passage. And when the conference bill comes back, what's going to change? I'm just asking, why would Congresswoman DeGette win and Stupak lose when that time comes?
Speaker Pelosi moved the bill. She kept it going.
Right.
She made it not die right now. She doesn't have a solution for this. There is not a solution for this right now. Somebody's going to be disappointed in the end because it's an irreconcilable difference. Okay. She did use her considerable...
40 people have said they will not vote for this bill if it's not pro-choice. 40 people have said they will not vote for the bill if it funds or uses taxpayer money to subsidize abortion coverage. It sounds like a real no deal to me.
It sounds like Nancy Pelosi's going to have to hope for a whole lot of special elections. She did do one incredible political thing the other night. She had the Conference of Catholic Bishops in one room, the pro-choice lawmakers in another.
The bishops showed up.
She has two conference rooms.
Did the bishops show up?
The bishops showed up.
They shouldn't have.
Two conference rooms.
Well, I'll tell you,
she did shuttle diplomacy.
The clergy should stay off Capitol Hill. Anyway, thank you, Jonathan Allen. I understand the argument. Don't show up. Up next, which member of Congress missed his son's wedding so he could vote on the health care bill? Well, that's a tough choice. That's coming up in the sideshow. You're watching Hardball. Actually, it's not. You got to go. You got to see.